What is up, you guys? I wanted to do an updated video, the pros and cons of starting a cargo van business. I'm on 4 months right now. Last time I did it was a month ago when I was at 3 months. The kids broke my other pair of glasses, so I have my backups. Let's get right into it. Now, last time my pros and cons list was much different. I looked back at it, I was like, wow, it's a lot different. Now, this is just my experience. Everyone's situation is different. The way people go about it. You know, I bought my van outright, stuff like that. I have backup money too for like if issues. That's why I like saying that, and I came from nothing. I say that a lot, and I know it's repetitive, but I say that because, you know, I don't want people thinking, oh, well, if I just had a bunch of money. Like, no. I was living in a car 8 years ago. Just so like that's out there. It's not like, you know, I want this to inspire people, but also I want people to understand this ain't just like some dude who just had money saved up for years. So let's go over this. This is at 4 months how it's been going, because it was completely different a month ago. And 4 months ago it was completely different. 3 months ago it was, but I just started getting into YouTubing this stuff, you know, like 2 months ago. So anyways, so now I'll go through the list of pros. At this point, at this stage, at 4 months, it was harder to find cons, but there are cons. But let me go through, well, actually, you know what? Maybe let's just go through the cons first. After 4 months of my experience with my situation. No schedule on the road is probably the toughest con of owning your own business, because, you know, you're getting different avenues of loads, trying to find different loads, and like when you get one, it could just be like, okay, your schedule is done, you know, and that's fine. To me, like I said, it beats having a boss, but that's a con. Keeping track of finances, luckily I'm a lucky man, and my wife does that. She like breaks down everything. Okay, taxes, gas, this goes here, this goes here. She's got like things that are for spending money, this money, savings money, van savings money, blah, 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 blah. Like, so I'm lucky on that end. Because if it was just me, I'd be all like, yeah, money, here it is, you know. I am into financing and stuff, but I'm not as good as her at like just doing it all. The randomness of the industry I put too, just because, yeah, like you could go somewhere that's hot all the time and then it's just nothing. And being a cargo van, there are less loads than a high roof, but for me, I haven't had a problem. I mean, I'm making more money than I did at $24 an hour as a straight truck driver, so I'm not having financial issues because of it, and that's why we do our weekly thing. We're actually coming out with another one where I just went out, I think I went out only 2.5 days, maybe, yeah, 2.5 days, because we took Monday and Tuesday off, and that'll be in this video too. More responsibility. I mean, that one that was sort of a forced one, because it is more responsibility. Like, you know, when my tire went out, I had to fix it, stuff like that. I do have AAA and roadside assistance with my full coverage, commercial insurance, but I just, you know, wanted to fix it myself. And the more responsibility, too, is, like, you need to impress the customers. Like I said, I never want to impress a boss again, but I do obviously love impressing customers. I've had, like, 7 or 8 runs that have been from returning customers, so clearly something's going well, because I'm always super early, but not annoyingly early. You know, I've talked about that in other videos. Expenses, you know, they are tax deductible, and everyone I've talked to said they've only paid in like $300-400. Some have said $800 at the most, so I don't know. So we'll see how that goes. This tax season, when we go to do my taxes, my wife does all of hers on her own, but like this time though, doing them, we're going in, and I've only been doing this a couple months, but next year's going to be the ultimate test. Now the biggest con is leaving family. Now, for me too, that's why we found a balance where I only go out 3 or 4 days, and then I'm home 3 days about. Yeah, 3 days. And then, like, for instance, how I took Monday, Tuesday off just because it was storming, and, you know, I'm like, whatever, and the kids had snow days. It was perfect. So that's the thing too, leaving family does suck, but I'll get into pros about that, that I've seen. So next, let's get right into the pros. Now, for me, in my experience, the pros after owning my cargo van business after 4 months, being your own boss, that was on the last one. It's just nice, like, and it's not an ego thing. It has nothing to do with, like, I was literally talking to my cousin about it because we talk a lot about this stuff or just everything in life. And I forget I own a business. Like literally. I have business relationships with people that help me, like, you know, with loads, and my wife now dispatches. She dispatches for me, and she's been doing that, but now she dispatches for a company as well. So like being your own boss is no ego involved. It's just like I was so sick of like needing to ask, oh, can I do this? Like I've had jobs where I was overnight shift, and then I said, hey, this ain't working for me and my family, and they just say, oh, well, sorry, we need you there. You know what I mean? I've been at jobs where they're like, you know, you're going to do all this because none of the other workers will, because I was a hard worker. And then I would just eventually, I'd be like, no, they have to hold their own weight at a lot of jobs. And then they'd be like, sorry, man. You know, it's just being your own boss. There's nothing like it for me, because being a super hard worker, it was like that was the same. I just was like sick of making money for people. I'm like, you know what, dude? I want to make money for me, from my hard work. So then when I'm doing this, because it is hard work, like when I did, if you look at the video about the truth about expediting or whatever, like what to expect, stuff like that, it's like there's hardness about this, definitely. So I mean, this is just my experience, but yeah, no, there's hard parts about it, and that's why like not a lot of people stay in it. No schedule. I put no schedule, you make it. So see, that can be a bad thing. Like on the road is mainly what I was saying on the cons, because like, yeah, on the road that can get rough, but when I get home, I'm right back on schedule. No schedule, you make it. You know what I'm talking about. It's just like, it's a good feeling just to be like, yeah, some Mondays just don't work. I'm just like, whatever. You know, because Mondays can be sort of the slow day, you know, with runs. So it's like, some Mondays I'm like, whatever, Monday off, so it's cool. Then I'll be home 4 days, and then I go out 4 days sometimes. That's sort of been the average. Less stress. The hard part is more done. There's always growth, but I'm saying at 4 months for my experience, and that's the thing, my experience, I'm in Minnesota, I'm in the Midwest, it all depends on your situation, and it depends on how much you want to hustle, because there's so many people who just hit me up, and I love helping people, but you have to like gain these business relationships. At least for me, I did it in my area because I wanted the Midwest area, and just like you need to continue to just build and hit places up, and the internet is your friend. I had one guy going off on me over and over again about how Indeed sucks. I found so much work off there. He kept saying, I have 30 years experience, it's a scam, you need to be a truthful person. I'm not getting into that too much, but it was weird. I'm like, dude, like, I made a lot of money from it. So I don't know. I just share my experience. That's why I'm saying. And I said, I'm sure you have experience. I just haven't seen, that has not happened to me. Gotten a lot of work off Indeed. So I don't know. And it's all been legit. I get paid. Everything's legit. So I don't know. Okay. Now that the hard part's done, because I'm telling you, the first 2 months, like figuring it out, even at month 3 when I did this last video, I was still enjoying like the process, but I watch a guy called Gary Vee. He talks about like, you know, enjoying the journey, even if it's stressful when you start a business. So that's something I've been doing. Ultimate decision making. And that was job example. I said job examples. That was that whole thing where like you ultimately like make the decisions, like and it's no ego, but instead of like somebody telling you, oh, you got to work this holiday, it's like you just don't work the holiday. Like, you know, I was doing this while it was Christmas and all that and Thanksgiving, and I just did what I wanted. It felt really good. Building business relationships. You know, and that's why I'm saying at 4 months now, I've built relationships with companies that are just giving me the loads. Like literally, they're like not even just the load board. They're just like not even putting it out there, just giving it to me because they know I'll take it and I'm getting good rates, but I'm on time. I'm perfect. You know what I mean, though, when it comes to, I don't mess around, dude. I eat peanut butter sandwiches on the go, and then I eat my big dinner on the road, but I do that because I don't want to ever be faulty on a time, but some people might be different. You know, I'm different like that. Like when I was a straight truck driver at the company I was at, so many of the drivers talked about, some were really strict too with like doing good, but like I remember so many of them were like, no, I just chill, bro. Like that, maybe that's how most drivers are. That's fine. Taking random days off. I know I've discussed a lot of these things, but you know what I mean. That's what I mean. Just a Monday, we'll be like, whatever. Weather driving decisions. That too. That's why Monday and Tuesday was I was gonna go, and then my wife's like, just take it, just don't accept runs. And then I did get offered one on Tuesday, and I just said, no, just taking it off. So that's really big too, because me and my wife used to always talk about it, living in Minnesota. If it was a weather or a winter storm or a really bad storm, it was like getting to work. Where you at? Like, it was not even like a big deal to companies, which, you know, they don't care. They want to make their money, and they need you to do that, make their product, but they don't give a shit if it's, you know, if you die on the way to work. Like, obviously I'm not saying they don't care, but it's just, you have no decision. And if you do say, oh, I'm calling in, they go, oh, wow, really? Oh, we really needed you, Todd. And you're like, okay. So quality family time. This is why I talked about leaving families hard, but now with this balance of 4 days in, 4 days off, pretty much is what we've been doing, and we've been profitable. I've seen people say, oh, you can't take work off. I don't know if that's because they have van payments and all that. I don't know, because I'm like sitting here like, I can, and I'm making more than I did as a truck driver at 24 an hour. So I don't even know what they're talking about, to be completely honest. And why I say quality family time, I'm more fun. Playing video games with the kids all the time. I was already a fun dad. Everyone knew I'm known as the wacky uncle, the fun dad. So I was already fun, but like the quality time is different. Like, I'm not at all stressed. I'm not, because like too, I don't have to set an alarm. Like, I'm just chilling. During the week though, when I'm home during the week though, I wake up with my daughter and get her on the school bus. So when I'm home for that, but then on the weekends it's just like it was weird last night, same thing. I look at my phone, I'm like, oh yeah, I don't have to set an alarm. It's really strange for me, and it's amazing. So helping others and inspiring people, that's been cool. I didn't really expect that. The last time I got to like help others, inspire people, and help people in general was when I worked at a drug treatment center in Florida. And so like I was missing that at all my other like jobs, you know. And I know there's a purpose for every job, but you know, there were more manual labor jobs, and it was just like I was providing for my family, but there was no like actual depth of that. So that's something good that I've noticed through this. Here, 1 second. So like I said, yeah, it's just, that has been definitely different, just helping others, inspiring others. It's just something big that I was missing, because I didn't expect this. I literally, me and my wife, I always tell people this, and we always talk about it. We literally just started putting this content out, because we were already, you know, making YouTube and stuff for fun. Not really caring what happened with it, but then we just made videos. We're like, let's make videos of the content we wanted to know, how much people are making, you know, an actual adventure one where like I got to see what it was like, because I couldn't find that. You know what I mean? Like, I couldn't just find someone living in a van. Like I seen some of the people who I really like I really like everything Apex and stuff, but like, I'm just saying, like, I wanted to see exactly them freaking setting up their bed, going to bed, like, and then the financial side. And I know every place is, everywhere you even live is different with rates. So like, it's still an encompassed, like, you know, and I've been to a lot of places. If you go further in my YouTube, there's more like of going down south and this and that, and the experiences we've had with that, and going west and stuff like that. But it's just, that's why we started this. But then in turn, it's like inspiring people and helping people. And I'm into inspirational YouTubers too, but I had no idea like it was going to do that. So that's really cool to have happen. Caring only for the customer's concerns. That's what, and obviously brokers, you want to, you know, be a good driver too. And dispatching companies, obviously, as well. But you know what I'm saying. It's just, it's cool to not, like, have to feel like, oh, boss, yeah. Oh, yeah, I'll come in at 5. I remember, oh, yeah, I'll do that harder thing at 4 a.m. Sure. And then, like, they're like, thank you very much. But meanwhile, they just don't care. They're like, okay, thanks, soldier. You know what I mean? Making vacation plans. Like, me and my wife already are like, yeah, you could go out, like, 3 weeks straight, come home, take a vacation. And we have other avenues, like, I thought I already talked about this, but maybe I didn't. Like, so pause on the vacation thing, because we have other avenues of revenue that have came from this. Like YouTube, but then also sponsor type stuff that is in the works. But then like, my wife is also dispatching for a company, making money on that. My wife still does hair on Saturdays. It's just crazy, because all these other avenues of money, we could just put that money away too and go on a vacation, but we'd probably just have me go out for a couple weeks, like 3 weeks even, come back, take a vacation. But the reason I bring up all that other stuff is because it's just crazy how it encompassed, like, you know, all these other avenues of financial gain, which we didn't expect either. You know, in this industry, we just thought, oh, you just drive, I'm just going to be driving around. You know what I mean? It's just, it's pretty crazy. So that's what's cool too, is making vacation plans. That was one of the bigger parts of when I left the place I was at, because I was almost to my first year there, and I was like, oh, I'll get a vacation. I was sort of like, oh, I'll hold on for 2 more months or whatever it was, a month. And then I just was like, I'm done, because they were still acting weird or whatever. And then I just said, like, treating me like the hard worker, where everyone else got to just do the easy stuff. So finally I'm like, I'm done. I'm not going to sit here and hope for and try to get to my vacation. That was a big part too. I'm like, I'm done. No asking for days off. Like I was saying, that's what's cool too, is like, it's still weird for me when I just like I don't want to, I'm not doing anything today. It's still weird to just like, yeah, where you don't gotta, hey, and I was talking to my buddy who's actually wanting to get into this side of the industry. He wants to go to Gooseneck with a truck, but he was saying, like, when he hit up his dispatchers, like, yeah, and he told them, oh, I want to, you know, and they're like, oh, again, he heard him say in the background. And that's the type of vibe I got, too. Even when I was getting my hazmat and tanker, they were, like, hitting me up, like, where are you at? And this was a cool place, but still, they're like, how much longer? Like, dude, I'm getting something, and they said I was going to get $1 each for that. And I ended up getting 50 cents. Those are the types of things. They're like, oh, I don't know who told you $1. I'm like, you guys did when I started here? And they're like, oh no, maybe we said it wrong. Okay. So that's what I mean, like those instances, man. And people who always talk to me, oh, I hate my job, this and that, I want to do this. But also, like I always say, my experience is different, but I always give the advice to save your money. If this is your dream to not have a boss, save your money and buy something outright. I mean, a lot of people get a leased vehicle and then they can't pay the lease and the insurance, is what I'm gathering when people are hitting me up. And then they go sign on with a company, and then they're, again, like, dude, these companies suck. That's what people have hit me up. This is just my experience. So that's why I'm really big on giving the advice. If you hate your job, you want to do this, save up your money, like a couple hundred at least, even a month. Stop having things on lease. Stop having things on credit. Get out of that type of debt to get to the point where you can just buy something. Because, like, yeah, I understand it is hard. Like, there's no way I'd want to do this if I had a lease. There's no way. And I wouldn't want to work for someone. So then I get why people do that, though, so that their insurance is paid and then their lease is not as big of a deal to them. But then that's like paying, like, whatever. But that's just my advice. And then I put freedom, kids sports. Like when my kids have games, like my oldest 16-year-old had basketball games, and I feel different. Before it would be because they're during the week, he's in school ball, I would feel rushed. I would feel like, okay, this is enjoyable. I'd try to stay in the moment, the fourth dimension, and just like focus. But at the same time, I'm like, oh, I gotta be up by 4. You know what I mean? If it went into overtime, it just feels good. In kids events, like my daughter has conferences, we just schedule it, and I'm like, I'm not working during her conference. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, dental appointments. I set one up, and it's just like I didn't even have to think about asking for the day off. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that after 4 months of doing this and getting it well grounded, because there were times we were sweating and going crazy. That's what I'm saying. Like, and that's why I wrote at the bottom, it's hard at first, don't give up. But it's situational and circumstantial too, like the way that you go about it. Because everyone's different, everyone's in different locations, but anyone can do it, obviously. You just gotta, like, you know, really, really think before, like, me and my wife, when we did all this research on this, we did not just go like, okay, let's go lease a van, because that's what everyone was telling us to do, like, or on YouTube, a lot of what we seen was just lease a van, sign on to a company, which, not saying that's bad, I'm never saying that's bad, but, like, I didn't leave my trucking job or any of my other jobs, like, because I have other companies that pay really good who wanted to hire me, not even in the trucking field, and that's no ego. I'm just a hard worker, because I am a psycho. So why I'm saying that is because we made sure, like, because too, we've saved all this money to get into rental properties. That's why we've worked so hard, but then when we saw this, we're like, oh, well, we could throw some of it into this and not go crazy and buy something. Because we were going to buy a straight truck, throw all of our finances into it. And luckily we didn't, because, like, I don't know. Because you never know what could happen. But anyways, that's what I'm saying. Everyone's situation is different. But my advice, so many people ask me, well, what should I do? And then I say, If you hate your life or hate your job like I did, I was sick of jobs, sick of impressing the boss, sick of it, sick of asking for days off, sick of it. It felt almost like I was in a twilight zone of I'm working in my casket. Like, this is what I'm going to do. I mean, me and my wife had plans to retire with rental properties, but still, I mean, in the end, I couldn't even take like 5 more years of it. But if you're that passionate, start saving up for the van. Cargo van, Sprinter van, whatever you want. Don't just, don't just hop into it, because then you might get a lease. You lease out that van forever, you work for a company, and then if it eventually breaks, I don't know all the ins and outs of that. We just don't do the leasing stuff and stuff. I just know a lot of people hit me up and be like, man, this lease pay. I'm just saying my experience from what people call me or message me a lot about. Man, I got this lease, I got insurance, I have to sign on to a company, I don't want to. Then they sign on to the company, a couple weeks later they go, man, this sucks, but I don't know. There's probably really good companies. That's why I'm saying everyone's endeavor's different, everyone's situation's different. I mean, but there's even people who've hit me up and have been like, dude, I've signed on to 6 companies and they're all cool at first, and then they act like there's an obligation, even the ones that say no forced dispatch. That's just what I'm hearing. And then they say after a while they act like you're obligated, but that's why I wanted to make this. So far, for 4 months for me, it's been going good. But like I said, the first 2 months were stressful as hell. The 3rd month was pretty stressful, just getting all the ducks in a row. Me and my wife were like sometimes losing our mind, but now we are chilling, like enjoying it, enjoying the ride, like Gary Vee says. So if this is something you want to do, I try to tell people that because I don't want to be naive to people and just be like, because I saw one guy say on YouTube, I swear, I don't remember who he was, it was a long time ago, he said, if you have good credit, you can start this business. I was like, oh my goodness, like that is just, but not, I just am saying, like, and I remember that same person was saying they were netting like $800 a week. So anyways, the reason I say that is like really just if this is what you want to do, and I like it a lot actually, driving around listening to podcasts, but there's hard times too, but if this is what you want to get into, go full steam and really hustle to get to the goal, because this is just a stepping stone for other goals we have. But I'm going to always do this. This is always going to be something I do. Like, I want to always do runs. Forever. Like, even if we get our rental properties, we do this, that, the other. This is what I want to keep doing and striving for. We're a long ways away from that, but that's what we want to get to. So everyone, thanks for watching, and I seriously appreciate everyone who watches these videos. And like I said, I'm new, I'm humble, I'm only 4 months into this, but I just am sharing my experience and I get passionate. So everyone have a blessed day, and thanks for watching.